Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Old Reader, New Reader. I have a guest. It's Megan.
Hey all.
Look. And the background's perfect. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate it. We're here to talk about Cosmoknights by Hannah Templer, volumes 1 and 2. But before we do that, Megan, really glad you're here.
I'm happy to be here.
You like comic books, which I learned recently. And I usually ask people what's their comic book origin story, which is a vague question for me to be like, what comics you like?
My comic book origin story is actually that my dad grew up as a comic book geek and was very into Spider-Man. And so we just have boxes upon boxes in our basement of comic books. And so when I was fairly youngish, my grandpa, who was babysitting me at one point, handed me ElfQuest and was
nice.
Read this, which was probably a bit much for the age that I started reading ElfQuest at, but that was one of my intros, and I was like, absolutely, I am here for this. Put me in.
Now, look what's happened to you. Here you are. Yeah. And you've cosplayed She-Hulk, which is great.
Yes, I have. I've cosplayed She-Hulk, Tracer, Raven, and also Hellboy.
Yeah. I love that. My goal is still for us to be in a cosplay group together. That's the dream.
Oh, absolutely.
Yay! So, we brought you on here. I guess I lent out my first book, but luckily I was able to reread it. So this is Cosmoknights. I found this randomly at Half Price Books, and I saw gay space pirates on the back, and I said, cool. And I took it home, and I loved it. And now volume 2 is out, came like a couple of months ago, but you can read this online. She has like her own like webcomic thing. I put in the description to people at home if you want to read it. And you're like, this seems really cool. You can go in and jump in it. Super easy to read. So quick blurb about what it is before getting into it. Basically, Cosmoknights is set around like a world where people duel to like win princesses. So like these kings or whatever, these like empires, space empires, whatever, they will hire people to fight for them, like Renaissance like deals, like the medieval times, right? Except they're in mech suits, of course, so it's really cool. But this book centers around a group of them that are actually women they go in there, they fight in those battles to save the princesses and take them away elsewhere, so they don't have to be forced to just marry someone else. And at the heart of this is a girl named Pan. I took notes this time. Everyone in the chat can be really proud of me. I'll welcome any and all gold stars.
Oh, great.
It was minimal notes, not for reals. Just names, because I will forget them. Our main character, Pan, her best friend growing up, Tara, was a princess, and she helped her escape. And so it kind of like, this is what starts all of this. So I guess we can kind of jump into stuff. Talk about book 1. First thoughts about this, because I basically sold this to you as gay space pirates. Really.
First thoughts are definitely gay in space. Not as piratey as I was hoping.
It's not as piratey, yeah.
But I am a huge mech battle person, so when I saw that there were mech battles in it, I was like, all right, this is possibly better.
Yeah, absolutely. People at home, if you're like into Gundam or like, I mean, it's less like Gundam Big Suit, but like more
like exoskeleton kind of.
Yeah, thank you. Because I was like, less big suit, less big robot suit fighty thing in space. Yeah, so it's more like, because so like the physicality of the person matters, like what they have equipped matters. I'm glad you're into mechs too. Growing up, there's a lot of like cartoons we had like Zoids and like Gundam and stuff that makes me think about this. Yeah, when I first jumped into this, I was like, colors are great, art's great. And I really was interested in the characters right from the get-go. Just like design-wise even. Like throughout the board. Especially Pam when she showed up, because I was like, big buff lady. Yeah, kind of like you could say this is like a Pacific Rim, but like tinier. Same vibe. Is it okay if your bookshelf gets dusty? Interesting question. It happens.
I'm going to say collectors. That I have at least one bookshelf that's dusty right now. It's fine.
Okay, so I guess we can dive into like the first book. So kind of started talking about like the initial thing with like, first we start out with Pan, who meets B and Cass after like a big fight, and they go to their Pan's father, who's like Pan's father and mother. They work in town, and they have like a discreet sort of like clinic for people that get injured. They're like, no questions asked, no worries. And these two women show up, and they're like, hey, don't ask me about this. And the parents are like, yeah, that was a rough fight. We saw you on TV. And they're like, what? Quit it. Not good at hiding this at all. And immediately they start sharing with Pan kind of their whole premise. Because like, we can tell you don't like the fights. Like, well, you're not going to believe this. We get in the fights, but to save the princesses. And Pan's like, no shit. That's awesome. Because I helped my princess leave, and I messed up a whole bunch of stuff for everybody. So I'm going to sneak on your ship. And they're like, well, we're stuck with you. Very like beginning anime sort of deal.
They didn't put like, they definitely were like, hey, get out of here. Here's some bus tickets. But then she came back and they were like, oh no. Like they didn't put up too.
Like they very much encourage the whole, because they're at like, you know, breakfast, they're eating together. Like, hey, yeah, we get it. It's corrupt. We can tell that you're in it. You get it. And then they're surprised, like, wait, why did she show up? You cannot talk to this poor girl who is fawning all over you in her kitchen and think she's not going to join your ship.
Oh, absolutely. And she was just like, I ruined my, like, I can't get away with anything in town because everyone knows I saved the princess. I'm all alone here. Of course she wants to join you. Like, come on, man.
Come on. And then I love how, like, immediately after that, she kind of makes herself useful, like, right away. So the next time they're getting followed by who we figure out is, like, Katarina Rose. Fancy scientist, I guess. Computer scientist, probably created an AI. We don't know yet.
Yeah.
And she's able to, like, hotwire, like, a motorcycle and get them out. So she ends up being, like, their tech person, which is perfect. She's like, oh, I can look at your machine. I know it needs fixing. They're using some old tech. Here's how you can improve it. I think this is something that, like, this kind of character is probably really interesting to, like, people who like Star Wars and, like, space epics and stuff like that. So I love when people kind of fit, like, a party together.
Definitely. Yeah.
So you got, like, your captain with B, you've got Cass, your big muscle. And now we have Pan, who is our, like, I almost said Izzy from Digimon, which is not what it is.
I would say Pan's like the hardware guy, and then Cat's like the software person.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. Real quick, hello everybody. Caden, you just gotta keep listening. You're gonna find out. That's up to you, my guy. If you want to clean your bookshelf or not. I have allergies, so I should do that. And good evening, amazing agent. Welcome. So then we lead into some more. We get to watch the first big, like, really be involved in the big fight. And we learn that one, Pan has been given, like, this necklace, which is actually, like, a big key into, like, the royal network. Very cool. And Rose is able to, like, help her hack into it to, like, watch all the fights and everything. I would just say thank you, Dark My Fairy. Wow, I'm sweaty. Anyways, it's really hot in Kentucky, everybody. I almost said y'all, and I could. You guys would get it, but we have some non-Kentucky people and non-US people here. And then we get to finally see, like, the real big breakdown, like you have your computer guy and everyone teaming up together, which is really cool to watch. So I'm curious, like, because you've read, you know, you watched anime, you've read stuff. How'd you feel about, like, some of the action sequences in this? Like, I'm one who doesn't care either way usually about action sequences, but I thought it was fun to kind of read. That's what we did with it.
I did love the drama of the action sequences and how it, like, really focused in on, like, when something was hit, it was very dramatically done. And how guess basically what I'm trying to say is that I did enjoy the action sequences. I am also not a super actiony person,
Yeah.
but I feel like they were well done in a way that enhanced the story and made the fight more intense.
Yeah, I feel like it upped the drama, and the way they described things was helpful because I'm like, I don't know. But she's like,
Oh,
listen,
yeah.
these things right here, that's old tech and it'll blow up. And I'm like, whoa, you're kidding.
Oh, yeah, when they talked about the engine attachment getting overheated.
Yeah.
And you just have to like keep them working really hard, then you'll win. And it ended up working out. It was great.
Peak like anime cartoon action. Loved it.
Absolutely.
Something I did sorry, it's one of those days. I'm gonna jump around. My head's a little out there. So thanks everybody for sticking with me today. Something I jumped over but I do want to talk about is Cass. So in this book we learned that Cass was a princess. And she saved herself, basically. So she made this whole plan to fight for her own hand, a la Brave. And we get this really cool sequence of like some background on her motivations as a character and how she already knew B, and they kind of made this plan together. Trying to figure out what I want to talk about. I really like the way this is all put together, like where it was like fantasy, but like more of a space fantasy deal, and having this character who is a princess but doesn't have the body like a princess at all. Like she's a very masculine woman. Like she uses she her pronouns, but she's very much like the way she inhabits her body is very much not like the role that she's been given in life, which explains kind of her extra motivation, like pushing up against this, like a lot of levels. And that was really neat to see a character like that inhabit that role. Hello, Mark. Hello.
Absolutely that. And then I think even there were like training sequences leading up to the Thunderdome for her hand, basically, where she was training with her dad, and her dad said, "You're one of 5. You're my only daughter. I'm glad that you are able to like be strong and be independent, but we're gonna still kind of make you do this thing. Sorry."
Yeah, absolutely. It was like kind of there's this keeps being like trend, I guess, of everyone being like encouraging people and then being surprised when they match the expectations of the way that they encourage them throughout this book. Like over and over again with different characters. Still jumping around. I guess we don't talk in order. We can just talk about whatever really, actually. Let's do that instead.
Yeah, sure.
So let's talk about book 1, then let's talk about book 2. So I read the book 1 like a few years ago and loved it. Had no idea where this was going to go, but I love the way it kind of wrapped up with this team coming together. So at the end of book 1, how did you feel? Like, do you have any favorite moments, favorite characters in that part? Like anything that really got you? Yeah.
I definitely love Cass because I am always a fan of the tough girl aesthetic in every way, shape, and form. I feel like I read these like back to back. I literally put one down and immediately picked up the second one. So I'm checking to see.
You're good. Happened. So it ends basically after Kat joins.
Yes.
So it ends with them getting there and then having to talk about how we need to take down the whole saving the princesses is enough. We need to take down the system. You guys cannot carry this on for too long. And so they've just taken the new princess in who we don't get to see. And they have this sort of like come together and they talk about the next step. So that's kind of where we leave off. Oh, and Pan getting the message from Tara, her childhood friend / princess.
Yes, that was a devastating moment where it was like 5 years after her initial escape. Tara escaped on her own. Pan is just left with this like trinket that she doesn't realize has any kind of messaging or technological capabilities, it seems like. There's a message in it. Ripped my heart out. Threw it on the ground.
Oh, it's devastating.
And then also there's the sketchy new cat person who seems to be really technologically capable, but we don't know anything about them. But we know that they've been like infiltrating their way into all kinds of like high society parties and kind of like gonna get them from the inside out. So we're almost left like,
there we go.
not knowing anything.
Yeah. Okay, here we go. Good. My cat unplugged my microphone, and so I panicked for a second. Yeah, because she's a really cool character. Because when she first showed up, and continuously, even to like at this point now, after reading book 2, I feel pretty good about her. But leading, like, I don't know what your deal is. You're saying the right things. You say you want to dismantle everything, but the whole way you're going about this is really sketchy and weird. And you obviously have a past, and you have "get even" tattooed on your fingers. And I just don't understand where exactly you're coming from.
Yeah.
Definitely
agree. At the end of book 2, I also love Kat. They had a full redemption arc in my eyes.
Oh yeah, so fast. Well, everybody just so quickly was like, just recognizing how useful everyone is to one another. And they're like, all right, fine. Because I mean, it's like Pan's like, I couldn't have gotten this without her. Like, we all have to work together to make this happen. And B is like, please, I need a break. I need some way out of this.
Yeah.
Chana's like, you gotta check it out. It's really good. Keep listening. Pick it up. I read it online. Okay, so book 2 is when we get like our big action. Everything's happening. So either I guess we can talk about it generally or talk about it just bit by bit. There's a lot that happens in there, so I'm not sure the best way to go and like tackle all of this. But primarily we end up on the next planet to try to save the princess there. But we hear so much happens on the way to it. First, our princess, Scotty, a new princess on the board, with her not cat, Percy, decides to make a call on her favor, her necklace, which only ends up notifying these nearby pirates. And immediately when these pirates show up, I'm like, I don't know about you, I was like, that's Tara on that pirate ship 100%. It is obvious that whatever cargo ship she ended up on was taken over by pirates, and she's going to be leading this pirate ship. And lo and behold, Tara's on the pirate ship. We can talk about spoilers here. It's okay. Immediately. Actually, yeah, let's talk about that before we get to the planet. Let's talk about like the in-between stuff. Because I feel like there's so much here. Because one, I really want to talk about Scotty. Because at this point, we get this princess who's like, I didn't want to be captured. I didn't want to be rescued. I've been trying my entire life to get married. I don't want to be married. But by doing that, my people get what they need. They get businesses. They get factories. They get all of these things. My people were depending on me for those things. And now they're not going to have it. You didn't ask. You just assumed. And you should have known. So we get this big question, this big dilemma between everybody, and everyone's fighting, of what is the right way to do this, actually. We thought we were doing the right thing, but what in by doing this, we've messed it up. So what you thought about like that piece of it? Because now we have this big like...
Yeah. So like, from when Scotty brought that up, I was like, well, this does make sense with their current like economic system. This is the way that everyone is. They're entirely dependent on like marriages happening in a way that like failing planets are going to get that new business from possibly like more powerful people that can afford to buy the knights to fight for them to get the princess. So like I did really feel for her in that moment where she was like trying to honestly do a good thing from the way she was raised and her perspective at that time. Yeah. And like it made me kind of sad that I feel like some members of the party didn't feel her out on that at all, or like didn't empathize with her. And I feel like the only one that really did was Pan.
Yeah.
So like that is one reason why I do love Pan's character. Like they are a great mediator and they want to hear everybody's side out. Yeah. In the end, Scotty does choose though to go back to her planet independently and help out people economically, try to revert the system in a way that like it's not dependent on outside economic influence. And I thought that was really badass.
Yeah, absolutely. I like everybody's motivation through here of the different characters.
Mm-hmm.
Like the way you talk about Pan, one, being empathetic and really taking time to understand everyone.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, Pan is the heart of the crew, absolutely.
Absolutely.
And then her going through her whole like breakdown of like, oh shit, I thought I was doing the right thing too. But then getting that message from Tara, she's like, the one thing I thought I did right, the one thing I thought I got together was helping my friend escape. But I think I just made things worse for her. So what is the right thing? And no one knows. Like, everyone has their own agenda, and like, I'm not really sure the right way to do any of this, except for like Katarina. It's like, no doubt you break the system down. But even for her, there's like,
and then Kat says, same, but you punch the system.
right. Yeah, absolutely. And then I love, okay, so one of my favorite parts, because I want to talk to you about it, because we have a lot of couples on here. And Cass and B are already together from the beginning. B had her life, she gave it up to be with Cass and get her away from being princess or whatever. But B is ready to leave this life. She's like, hey, we thought we'd do this for a little while. It's been like 10 years. And Cass doesn't know how to let go of that either. She wants to make a change, but she doesn't know how to stop being this. Like, her whole identity's been tied into being this. And then we have our other couple, which is Katarina and Scotty, which I loved watching happen.
Oh, absolutely. It was adorable. And very unexpected almost.
I was not sure, because you see this like back and forth, like, and there's this really great moment that I want to talk to you about, where Scotty walks in and she overhears Katarina talking about how these spoiled rich people don't do anything, that they don't know how to use their money, they're not helping people, and like basically disregarding like almost like Scotty's entire character, like her whole reasoning. She's like, they don't understand, nothing they're doing is really helping. If they really want to help, they do other things.
And Kat also asked Pam, like, when are you going to ask out Scotty?
Yeah.
Maybe trying to get feelers, though. Like, are you interested, or is it cool if I?
Yeah, I think so. But also, she's a great wingman, because even at like the like machine part yard,
yes,
which was very cute, because they had a lady there, she's buying machine parts from her, and Pam was like, oh man, this is really neat, this is so cool. And Lady's like, you can call me, you can text me about parts. And she's like, oh neat, and she's like laughing in the background. It's those little moments that I really love throughout here, like the little sprinkled goofiness amidst, like, you know, your diplomatic and socioeconomic issues across space.
Oh,
which
absolutely.
is important. You gotta have that downtime so the big stuff matters.
Mm-hmm.
For sure. Okay, I'm jumping all over the place, but that's fine. It doesn't matter. We can talk however we want about it. Okay. So maybe the best way. No, we'll just keep talking. Be fine. Thanks for being really chill, as my ADHD brain is on fire tonight. I appreciate it.
We got this.
Thanks, Megan. So amidst that, we also have Tara showing up. So before we get to like some of the breakdown of the place that they're going, I'm dying to talk about Tara and like the spaceship and her whole deal. One, coolest character design.
Oh yeah.
I was not expecting full on black, like badass. She's kind of like I don't know if you've ever seen or heard of it, but like Captain Harlock. So she's got like this very like space pirate, like big cloak, red eyeball look.
I'm looking it up now. Oh yes, that is very much this look.
It gives me that vibe where it's just, she looks very intense. She's got very long fingernails.
And also, it's only been 5 years. So she did like a full 180 on the original look.
Oh, absolutely.
And is now like a badass space pirate. Like, it all happened so fast.
Which I love. It's like, you know, it's kind of like the Princess Bride sort of like deal. Like, he, you know, you have somebody leave and they come back, and all of a sudden they're this like, they've got all of this like renown and all of these other things to them that they did not have before. You're like, wait a second. Because poor Pan is still, I mean, she's been doing a lot, but she's still a baby. She's still like a little bean, you know?
She's been working at Dad's auto parts store or whatever for the last 5 years. Just fixing stuff.
She cut her hair, you know? I mean, that was the biggest thing. And then Tara's out here like, you know, I have to use, we're going to have hostages, and we're going to do this, and we're going to take like the space by storm, but a different way. And like this, I need the power. I'm like, whoa. Chill out, Tara. What is happening? And of course, badass fight. Anyways, go ahead.
Yes. I did kind of feel for Pan. Tara is already partnered with someone
I
by the
know.
time Pan shows back up. And I was like, I feel like it would be too perfect if they got together. But that's what I really wanted. Because they did have some like cute flirtiness before Tara left.
Yeah, I do too. I think that's what's going to happen. But it also makes me really sad for Tara's girlfriend.
Yes, agree.
Because I'm like, you're not going to make it. You know, I'm really glad you were here for her on the pirate ship and you helped find her. And somehow, you know, she outranks you so fast. And that's great. Love that for you, but there's no way. There's no way. Oh my God. Thank you, Chris. There's so much to talk about. All the flashbacks in book 2 are so good. And they also break my heart, but they're so good.
Mm-hmm.
To see how obsessed they are with each other. Of like, you've got this rich girl and then Pam would sneak over. Like the hoverboard scene with the cardboard ship.
Adorable.
Little babies. Calling her whenever she's gone. Yeah, I think you're right. They have to be together. I mean, hopefully.
Book 3, we're going to have to figure that out.
Hannah Templar wouldn't do that to us, I think. I really trust her implicitly. I trust her just after 3 books I've read by her, but I think that's enough. I don't need anything else.
She'll give us what she needs, what we need. Words.
What she need, what we need, what they need. It's all of us. What we need. So we find out that this is like a really complicated deal at this next planet. And like, I love this part because now we've got Scotty on board and she's finally like, hey, I'm really pissed that I'm here, but I'll play a game. I'll be on the team. That's fine. And she's like, but I see you're going there. Have you thought about how much you should do that? Because this is like big game. And you don't just win the princess. You win the mining operation. You win all this other stuff. And they're like, oh, whoa, no. I mean, think about that. I love this. Like, it's like Cowboy Bebop crew of people coming together to like just that extra piece. Like, here, now you needed your like diplomat. You two's been on. You've been flying through space fighting battles. One of you is good at flying ship. One of you is good at fighting. One of you is good at building. One of you is good at software. You don't know people. You got to figure out what's actually happening here now. What are the politics? Who's in the royalty? Who do you have to think about? You don't have that guy.
Absolutely. And the giant, like, final city, I guess, or whatever that they're at is called Iron Vein, and it has all of the, like, resources that the uber bad guy, Cosmopole, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're trying to make a monopoly, is what the marriage is going to be about, so that they can control that, like, entire economic resource across the entire galaxy.
Yeah.
And so, like, there is so much at risk. Like, an entire galaxy's worth of whatever they have at Iron Vein. And I also like that they really focused on, like, there's, like, a toxic level of this place where, like, if you live below the toxic level, you're just getting pooped on all the time, basically.
All the time.
So it really, like, enforced the, like, economic disparity between the upper class and then just, like, the working class.
Oh, yeah, because they talk about, right? Because they're like, you know, we gave you this it's like Hunger Games almost. There's so many levels to this book, which is why I think it's really good. Where like, we have these games here. So you can feel like you as a person, if you wanted to win and marry a princess and get all this fame and renown, you could do that. But you can't. It's rigged. Because the rich people they're gonna buy the best people, best cosmoknights to fight for them. And then in this case, like, Katarina finds out they're all AI bots. AI that's probably been stolen from her. I don't think they confirmed that or not, but I assume.
I don't think that it was confirmed. But, like, she was able to jack into the bots. So
I think it's
easily.
her shit.
Yeah.
But, and then they made like, oh, yeah. You caught us, but you guys are terrorists, so now we're not going to do the games, and we're just going to do it anyways.
Yeah, And, like, I want to know what's going to happen after that. Like, they're going to do the marriage and nobody gets to do their BattleBot time.
No one gets BattleBot time. That's supposed to distract you. Yeah, so okay. That's basically the premise of the book. That's what's happening. I'm dying to talk about now I'm dying to dig in. So, okay, excuse me. My dog is saying hi. Yes, you can say hi to everybody. Goodbye. Yes, I know. Stop it. I'm dying to dig in and hear your thoughts about just the whole layers of all of this, because it feels like even though at its core you see this and you're like, oh, look how cute this is. The art's great. Oh man, the colors are so great. This is really fun. And then it's like, have you heard about like the issues between like the rich and the poor, and then what's happening here, and then how they do like how they keep people down. I've been dying to talk to you about that because I love how I would love to get your thoughts on how it all breaks down, how you feel about it. Because that to me, that's my favorite part of it. Because it's like, oh, sweet, everybody's having fun, and it's like.
By the way, there are layers on layers and layers. And I feel like there could be even spin-offs of like, where did B come from? And like, how did they get into the courier situation that then turned them into being like their own pilot?
Yeah.
And that was like, we got a few pages of that, but now that's like just enough that I'm like, give me more.
Yeah, absolutely.
So which layer do we want to talk about first? Because I feel like there are so many.
I know. I feel like I'm really glad I chose this book to read with you, and at the same time, I'm like, oh man, this is bigger than it. A lot of things are like Game of Thrones level big as far as like the levels. I guess what I'm like. Oh wait, am I still here? Okay, good. I guess what I'm really excited to talk about is what they brought up with like how they need to make the people no longer believe in the system, because that's what gives the system the power to continue to do this. And now if somebody jumps in, they're going to be really confused, because they're going to be like, why are they starting an uprising on near mint condition? But
yeah,
because the line was so good, it was like, no, they don't have to. It has power because we give it power. Otherwise,
and like if they chose to, like if the masses kind of chose to not participate in this like system anymore, it could be over immediately.
Yeah.
But like the ritual of it is almost what keeps it going.
Yeah, because I love not to relate to Hunger Games, but that's what I'm thinking about, big games that detract from like what's happening. But because the only reason that they had this whole this whole fight, it's not unlike jousting, all A Knight's Tale. The reason why they have these fights, not only to make the political marriages, but to like have people excited about it, so they don't get mad about it, about a system that's not helping them at all.
Yeah, it's like an economic event for everyone, and then there is also that like Hunger Games aspect, like you said, of like anyone can be a knight if you like train hard and really want to like win the princess's hand or whatever.
And it's gonna be totally fine. It's the American dream. And in this essay, if I just work hard enough. So for these characters, where are you hoping it's going to go after this? What's kind of your... Because a lot of pieces are in place. Tara and Pan are reunited. We have their pirate ship with our Cosmonite girls. What are you hoping for book 3?
Where we've currently left off, it's that the Iron Vein shindig is destroyed. The Cosmoknights are now... Our Cosmonite ship is now like a terrorist organization.
Yeah.
And people have like seen their faces and are on the lookout for them. So like ideally they're going to have to find a way to either dismantle the entire system of the battle arena before the next one happens, or they're going to have to secretly enter the next one without people realizing that Cass is Bull.
Yeah.
Do people know Cass is Bull? I know that they do at the bar, the Cosmoknights bar.
I feel like it's just the bar, because even when they scanned everybody, right, they only know about... I almost called her Snooky. That's our name, Scotty. and Tara. So they know that at least their like favors or necklaces were like scanned.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like it would be neat if they either took both the princesses or just one of them and had them like go back in, like be like, "Hey, I'm back. It's me, the princess," in order to like get the information they need and kind of get them to a place. Because I feel like there's gonna be some stuff they can't access because of that.
Like what?
I don't know. I just want the emotional trauma of it, I guess, is what I want. I'm looking for, because like eventually it would make sense for her to have to confront that.
Oh yeah.
Because she left her poor I mean, I do feel bad for her parents, even though
her parents renounced their monarchy or whatever to go look for her. And even said in the like little broadcast before the end of book 2, like, we're still looking for you. We're gonna find you. And I was kind of like, dang, maybe you should have called them.
At least a little bit.
Yeah.
It's amazing. This is so advanced, this whole place, and yet nobody's checking on anybody. Like, I feel like you could get a message out to somebody if you needed it. If you have robots.
That one guy in the bar that had his shitty little phone
and
was calling his kids. I was like, oh.
Yeah, I love them too. I love like this camaraderie between the pilots. I could see them like unionizing towards the end of this. They're like, no, man, they're not here for you. Because now the games are called off, right?
Yeah.
So what are they gonna do? And they're friends. And they're like, nah, man, we gotta fight together.
Maybe they all band together and dismantle the monarchy.
Yeah.
As knights together.
And then they can just fight for fun later.
Yeah.
That's what I want. Like, I think that would make the most sense. Because now also, we know we're going to get some fight. Pan's been training. She's learning. She's developing some new stuff.
Mm-hmm.
It's taking her a lot of work. We'll get a big fight. Also, that fight between her and Tara was really cool.
That was cool.
I'm glad they realized it was each other. I was worried when Pan dyed her hair that Tara would not recognize her.
Yeah, that was kind of a worry of mine too. One thing I do like about the bots that I'm just now thinking about is that they all have an animal that they correspond to. So Cass is bull, Bee is harrier. What did they pick for Pan? It was like a rabbit.
Lucky.
Thing.
Yeah, rabbit.
Lucky. Okay.
After like, making fun of her and be like Guppy or like.
Yeah.
I think Guppy's a solid name.
And one of the villains, I guess he's not really a villain, he's kind of an antagonist.
Yeah.
In the first one was Jaws, and he had like almost a shark mouth. I thought that character design was really cool.
Yeah. I'm really impressed with Hannah. Like, something we haven't talked about is just art overall and colors.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I don't think this book would be half what it is without the art. Without it. Like, the way that she draws everyone is so, like, expressive. It's accessible. Maybe that feels like a weird way to talk about it. But, like, as far as, like, a big sci-fi or fantasy, some of the art, even though I love it, can, like, turn away a lot of fans.
Oh, yeah.
And I feel like if you see something like this, like, you'll want to read it. Like, it's fun. It's very comic booky. Like, the action is really cool. Just, if I not this little scene, but just like the way everyone looks. Oh yeah, Chris has a good. I love when the eyes go big in the background because it definitely has like the anime like inspo, at least a little bit. And we also didn't talk about that big cat, but I do have to show Big Cat because he was Lil Cat, but then later he's Big Cat. I hope they explain
really
that.
Cool.
I guess he's just like an alien, but it feels very magical. Just like her little baby. I would love them to Robin Hood the next fight with wild get-ups. That's a good idea, Chris. Just like all dress up and then show up like surprise. It's been us the whole time.
And then give all this stuff to the citizens of whatever planet they end up Robin Hooding. That would be awesome.
Yeah. I don't pretend to know enough to know how they would dismantle any of this. Except for like cause a big revolt. But how do you cause a big revolt on all the planets? I have no idea. It sounds great.
I'm sure that there's a sci-fi make-believe mix 'em up that Hannah could throw in there at any time, depending on when they want the series to end.
Yeah, I trust her. She's good. I mean, so far, like, okay, I've been talking a lot. That's my bad. So, overall thoughts, I guess, like, do you have any other, like, specific characters you want to talk about, or, like, scenes or anything? So, like, final impressions so far of book 1 and 2. This is ongoing, by the way, so we get more stuff.
Final impression, immediately, as soon as I put down book 2, I wanted to know what was going to happen in book 3. Like, it was good enough that I would give... Hold on. I know that we're going to do numbers later, but, like...
We can do numbers now. There's no rules. We do it out of 10, if that helps.
Okay, out of 10 mech suits, I'm easily going to give it an 8.5.
Yeah, I'm a solid 9 on both because I love this still.
Oh, absolutely.
I love the characters. I love that there's so much there. The rules are there are no rules. Absolutely. Kind of suck. Of course.
I love the random thing that I kept getting pulled back into because it's obviously a space thing. I love the way that the sky is drawn on a lot of different planets and the layers of the sky. It is so pretty every time.
Yeah, these, like, I love that she's not afraid to use a lot of different colors. Because space can either be really colorful or really just
this is
dark. Yeah,
the sky.
All the colors. Yeah, because throughout this, like, she's not afraid of, like, sticking to a lot of different things.
Yeah.
Because even, like, try to find good examples. More space, please. Oh,
I know there's a lot of it in book 1.
Oh, yeah, feel free to hold it up. I can.
Yeah.
It's easier for me to highlight you than highlight myself and then hope I'm holding it.
Like even this one. Oh, no, I'm going to disappear into the background.
That's okay.
I was going to say,
understand.
If you happen to have the books near you, it's
I don't have the first 71. One, but I do have Space Battle. The ship design's really cool too. The fact that so much is into this, you have to, like, learn a lot of stuff. You know, like ship design, draw space, draw cities, draw regular people.
It does seem like the author is really accomplished, though. Like, I just have their mini about me where they've done Glow, Doctor Who, TMNT, Samurai Jack, Jim and the Holograms, and the list goes on.
Yeah. I really recommend, so people that, like, read this and liked it but are interested in some other things that have Hannah's artwork in it, I do really recommend, and it did win an Eisner, Flung Out of Space, The Indecent Adventures of Patricia Highsmith. I'll show a quick picture of it. But here's a picture of the cover. She did this with Grace Ellis, and this is about the author who wrote Ruby Fruit Jungle. Not Ruby Fruit Jungle. That's not it. Strangers on a Train. So, like, one of the first, like, lesbian, like, fictions that came out. And she also did some comics. She met Stan Lee. That's in the book. And and they're great at being like, she's a problematic person, but here's her story. Very good. Glow was really good. I need to read Glow because I watched the show. I never read Did you ever watch Glow?
No, I'm terrible at watching shows.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
But I have a list right here I can add it to.
It's Lady Wrestlers.
Oh, I would like that. Okay.
Yeah, you would like. It's your kind of thing.
Perfect.
And now I feel like we need, like, a Halloween costume. We're all... I have been wanting to do it. Well, we didn't talk about this before, though. I've been wanting to do, like, a wrestler group costume so much.
I would be down. Sign me up.
Yeah, I just want to be the Undertaker. I think that'd be great. Kate sends her dormant bots from different planets to attack the Royals. That'd be cool because she's got access.
Yeah, like if she could hack all of them, because it looked like there were a lot of them in the room.
Yeah,
where, like, she was broadcasting from and showing that, like, the knight was actually a bot.
Yeah, I want more background on her. Like, I know we'll get it because they've just been giving us hints, but I want like a full.
They each need their own.
They really do. You could really dig into that enough. Like, if she ever wanted to do like mini like anthologies or something, I think this would be well suited for it. Plus, the world's so expensive; you could do a lot of stuff with it.
Absolutely.
You're right. It's pronounced wrestler. I'm sorry. That was really rude of me. Oh man, anything else to talk about? Sometimes my brain's great. I'm like, and then this, and sometimes I don't have words.
I feel like there are so many things to talk about still. Where, like, how many of the princesses do you think were in the conundrum where they didn't actually want to be saved? Because they said they kind of ran into like some apprehension with other people that they captured, and then that they had to initially tranquilize Scotty to like get her on the ship or something. And I was like, holy crap, like, you don't have any, like, I know they're obviously trying to do the right thing and agree with what they're doing, but I would feel bad.
It definitely paints a different picture because they've decided to be vigilantes without, like, because for Cass it made sense. She wanted out. She made that decision for herself on her terms. But even though I think you're doing the right thing, I think people deserve a heads up. I know there's no way to do that and not get caught.
Yeah.
But I almost wish it's like you show up and then you're like, hey.
Blink 3 times really hard if you want to leave.
Do you want to leave? Or are you like cool with this? Because I'll get you out. Just something. So they'd be like, yes, this is my decision. And I'm glad they talk about the nuances of that. Like, you have this damsel in distress, but like, are they?
Yeah. Yeah, I don't. The nuances of the book too.
Yeah,
I feel
and
like
they
we've
say
talked about
princesses can save them.
Yeah.
They always say princesses can save themselves. Princesses can take care of themselves, and yet they are the ones that are like, you can't. We're saving you and making this decision for you, and we're taking someplace you don't know.
With like skills, we don't know what you know how to do. Good luck out there. Get out there.
You don't have money. You don't have power. You don't have anything once you leave this. Because even terrifying. Like, what's her name was like, at least I could do something.
Yeah, that's scary.
We met in a dance class, and now we're friends. And I thought Megan was really cool. And I still think you're really cool. I should have said it like that. Thank you. I thought she was really cool, and I changed my mind.
And now Megan sucks.
She sucks. No, and then she agreed to be my friend, which is very kind of her. She was like, "You can be. You're okay."
Now we're gonna play board game. Well, we have played board games once. We're gonna do some more TTRPGs.
I would love to schedule that soon. I'm itching.
Absolutely. Hannah did some of the art for Sword Lesbians.
What?
Wait, no, hold on. Am I making stuff up?
Wait, let me check this on the website. Oh my god, you're right.
Portfolio. Yes.
Thirsty Sword Lesbians. My dream TTRPG, which I would love to play eventually.
That is definitely high on my list of things that
I want to play it so bad. I just don't want to DM it. Well, or maybe I need somebody to DM it for me first so I understand. I'm one of those people that needs to like, it's like playing a board game.
I have all of the books, but I haven't like been able to play it with people yet because I have to convince people to play Thirsty Sword Lesbians with me.
I will play anything
to a lot of people.
I will gladly play that.
Excellent.
It takes no convincing.
We'll just have to like trap each other in a house for 8 hours. We'll figure it out.
That's my dream come true. That's all I've ever wanted. You didn't even have to do anything after that. We just have to trap you in a house together. And I was like,
board games and whatnot all day. I'm in.
Wear my comfy clothes. Wear my big shirt. Okay, so you gave it an 8.5. I gave it a 9. I loved having a show again, even though I was super awkward today, and I appreciate you. still. I promise I'm usually way cool. You can ask Aaron in the chat. Chat, do me a favor. Just like, do me a solid. They'll tell
Maddie's
you.
Cool.
I'm usually way cooler.
Yeah. I really appreciate you having me. This has been really fun. I hope everyone has enjoyed me being here and is going to check out this book if you haven't read it.
Yes, please. So we have time for questions. If you have some comic questions, everybody, because you like comic books, and I'd love to recommend you even more comic books. Thank you, Dark Wayfarer. Cool. So cool. Oh my guys, stop. Yes, that's how cool I am. I've never played Mortal Kombat, but I've watched a lot of. I've played Injustice 2, which I know is similar, and I watched the movie.
I've only gotten my butt kicked in Mortal Kombat.
I'm just not good at fighting games, and I want to be. Or do I? Do I just want to hit buttons forever? Yeah, maybe that's it.
The only fighting game I ever got okay at was Smash.
Yeah. Who'd you play?
So when I initially started whenever the GameCube Smash was the first one that I played, I was Kirby.
Hell yeah, me too! Hell yeah, brother!
I still play Kirby sometimes, but now we're moving on to...
I'm really impressed. So who now?
Corn.
Is that because you like Fire Emblem or just because?
Just because a lot of the sword characters on Smash tend to be more heavy hitters, in my opinion. Okay. Where Kirby does have like some heavy hits that they can do, but aren't as likely to fling you off the stage.
Yeah, I just have that one move as Kirby. I think that's why I play him. It's the go up and become a brick, and that's it.
Goodbye.
Yeah, I feel like I am a gamer girl, but I shouldn't say gamer girl. I'm a gamer. I don't know why I say it. But when it comes to fighting games or Smash, I'm like, it's this little easy character. I don't know how to do anything else.
We have another person that was Kirby. Heck yeah.
Thank you, Elon. I appreciate it. And we're both playing Baldur's Gate 3. If anybody else is playing some Baldur's Gate in the chat. I never played any other Baldur's Gate ever. Just this one.
I hadn't played Baldur's Gate either, but this one had so much hype. And then, like, before the actual release, a lot of the people that got to beta test it were like, this is a perfect game, and it's complete. There isn't going to be any kind of, like, DLC to it. And I was like, sign me up.
God, it's so good. It's so good. But now I want to know more about previous stuff. Like,
oh, yeah.
Now I'm curious if, like, the books are good or the comic books are good. Like, I'm sure eventually this hyperfixation will dial down, but right now it's like a 10. It's very serious. I need a break from it. This is taking over my life. I've got something else.
You don't need a break from it. Not
no,
yet. I haven't finished it.
Please,
I need you to be.
Oh, yeah. Okay, finish
you to be obsessed until I finish, and then
that's
you can
fine.
Stop.
I'm dying for you to finish it because there's a lovemaking scene that I experienced that I loved, and I need to talk to you about it, and it's killing me.
Well, I know that I need to go towards this person. Okay.
You'll know the second it happens, and you'll be like, Maddie did this. It sent me screaming and running around the room. I was losing my shit. I was like, are they trying to... It was so good. And then Elliot just sit there like watch me because we played it together. He's like, and I'm like, I am being seduced. Ooh, I love Disco Elysium. That one's really cool. It's another point and click thing, and it's real weird. I think you'd like it. It's real weird. Like,
check it out.
It kind of has D&D rules, kind of, because like you roll for things, but you're this like crummy looking dude who wakes up and you have lost all memory of everything. And
I kind of like that it's like crusty looking.
It's crusty. It's so weird, and he always voices talking in your head, and you're just losing your mind, like you're hallucinating. You just, it's really weird. Like the first thing you do in that game, you wake up, and first thing I did was go to the mirror to look at myself, and he's like, you don't recognize this face. Is this what a human face looks like? What is it? Like, it's like he has no idea of how anything works at all.
That's spooky.
Wild. It's really cool. It's not like Baldur's Gate, obviously, but it is like, if you're looking for a quick narrative thing to do, you're just like, what the hell?
All right, adding this to my wish list now.
Yay! All the games. Yeah, that's the gist. Everybody in the chat, I'll be back next week talking about Invisible Kingdom by G. Willow Wilson. And I've only played like one part of September, so we'll just figure that out. But I played all this month, so gold star for me. Good job, me.
Yay!
Yay! Megan, thank you again for being on. I really appreciate having you. I think you're really cool and swell and the neatest. I was gonna have a better word for that, but I don't.
Yeah, thank you for having me. I really appreciate being here. And I think you're really cool too.
Thanks. I'd love to have you on again, talk about a book. So whatever.
We could
do a Marvel thing.
I would be in for a Marvel thing.
Okay.
We read all of ElfQuest and then we talk about it.
Listen, I just heard of ElfQuest. I've never read it. We could go super
it's so much.
People would probably love that though, honestly. I would love to have you read some Red Sonja.
I have read some Red Sonja, and I would be down to read more.
That's what I want. I feel like you and I need to read a book that's about a big lady who fights and wears a bikini.
And then we just
she's for an hour. Cool. I can't believe. Yes, that's what I want. Like, I love the part where men tell her she smells, and she's like, "Who cares? Still bed with me." And they're like, "Whoa."
Thank you.
That's my girl. She's DTF, and everyone's like, "Chill out."
Stinky, but okay.
Well, anyways, on that note, everybody, thanks for being here. I'll see you next week, and have a good night.
See y'all. Thank you.
Bye.